Greetings everyone! Welcome to the Sonic the Hedgehog 272 review. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the final issue before this series enters the World Unite crossover. Now, if you've been watching the reviews and or reading the comics, you should know that the main objective for the heroes is to put the world back together. To do so, they need to gather the Chaos Emeralds and locate the Gaia Temples. The search for the Chaos Emeralds pretty much ended around Sonic Universe 75. But they haven't had any luck with the Gaia Temples. That'll change by the end of this issue. Before I get started, I should point out that this issue takes place between Free Comic Book Day 2015 and Sonic Universe 75. We start out in Apotos with Sonic and Antoine smashing Badniks, and Chip is there too. He even comments on their coolness once the last robot was destroyed. Sonic and Antoine comment on the increased robot traffic, which means Eggman's very interested in Gregarios. And here's the proof that this takes place after Free Comic Book Day 2015. Anyway, Chip has doubts about his role as Light Gaia. To be fair, he does have amnesia. One pep talk from Sonic and Chip vows to save the world, right after helping himself to an ice cream sundae. Meanwhile, on Sky Patrol, Knuckles explains his situation, that as long as the world's in pieces, Angel Island can remain in the air without the Master Emerald. Amy asks Knuckles about how he's tracking the shards. He responds that it's through his inner Chaos Radar, but he admits that it has a range of just a few miles. This gives Amy an idea. Using her newly acquired Mystic Melody technique, she could help pinpoint Master Emerald shards from a greater distance. Sure enough, she locates one in Apotos. Convenient. Rotor once again plays Mr. Big Picture, saying that Amy's the best chance at fighting the Gaia Temples. Plus, they can't split up any further or the like. Bunny and Cream point out legitimate reasons for helping Knuckles, and Rotor for the most part is sympathetic, but he wants to find the Gaia Temples to fix the fractured world. Back in Apotos, Sonic, Chip, and Antoine arrive at a church, or a temple, I can't really tell, where Gregarios resides. The priest greets them, then escorts them to a secret door. Notice the banner covering said door. Symbolism. Anyway, Gregarios shows off the Gaia Gate, which according to him is the single most important place in the entire world. He explains that the inner chambers of the Gaia Temple are inaccessible without the Sun and Moon keys, which Select Families guard. But the Gaia Gate can transport anyone straight to the central chamber, which I'm assuming is near the key required areas. Bottom line, they have easy access to all temples from one spot. Gregarios charges them with tracking down the families and getting their keys quickly before Eggman figures out this information as well. To make things even easier, Gregarios gives them a list of the locations of the families with the keys. By the time the trio leaves, it's nighttime, so cue Werehog. Also, cue Dark Gaia monsters. Time for the heroes to deal with the monsters and save the townfolk. It looks like they have things under control until a Dark Gaia Titan appears. Sonic tells Chip to call for reinforcements, only for the reinforcements to just show up. There's a reason for this, as we'll see in a moment. Knuckles recognizes the Titan as he's encountered one during the Sonic Universe arc, The Great Chaotix Caper. Sonic asks how he took care of the last one. The answer? Bean bombing it and lots of punching. Well, since Bean's not here, might as well settle for the punching. And all that punching reveals that the Titan has a Master Emerald shard embedded in its chest. That would explain how Knuckles, Amy, and Bunny arrived quickly. They were probably already in Apotos, homing in on the Emerald Shard. Sonic tries to pull it out when Antoine manages to get it out with his sword. Dude, you don't have to prove anything. You're awesome already. Moving on, Amy and Knuckles combine attacks to destroy the Titan. And we see here Amy still hasn't forgotten their tournament match, which wasn't a match at all. But hey, Knuckles has another Emerald Shard, and there are no more Dark Gaia monsters around. Sonic and Chip bring everyone up to speed regarding the Gaia Gate and the keys. This means Amy's no longer required to locate the temples, meaning she can help Knuckles gather Master Emerald shards. And here's something for those Sonic Amy shippers. On Sky Patrol, Rotor's relieved that everything's worked out, and Cream wants to go on missions. Okay? Sky Patrol receives a call from Rouge informing them that Gun has found a Chaos Emerald in Crystal Desert Zone. Somewhere else, Eggman receives a message from Metal Sonic asking for permission to do a certain task. Eggman orders the go-ahead as he himself is busy. preparing to take over the Lost Hex. And so we end the issue with Metal Sonic making a beeline for the Chaos Emerald and the gun forces guarding it, setting up the events of Sonic Universe 75. This issue doesn't set up the crossover per se, but it does set up Sonic Universe 75, which does set up the crossover. Instead, the main focus is to set up post-crossover material, namely hunting down the Sun and Moon keys in order to gain access to the Gaia Temple's inner chambers. I have a feeling that the Sun and Moon keys are an homage to the Sun and Moon medallions, those collectibles that you need to get in order to access levels in Sonic Unleashed. So, the heroes now have direct access to all the temples from the Apatow Gaia Gate. I can see both the positives and the negatives of this revelation. The negative is that it's a bit convenient from a story perspective, but I believe the positive outweighs the negative in this case. The Shattered World arc is going on a bit too long, and it's a nice way to speed things along. Plus, they're still going to certain locations in order to get the Sun and Moon keys, so there's still some world traveling. And for the record, they're using the Apatow Gate from the PS2 Wii version of Sonic Unleashed. I wouldn't be surprised if elements from that version and the HD version are used in this adaptation. In fact, it's probably happening already and I haven't noticed. It would make sense for Gregarios to keep the Gaia Gate a secret because anyone, Eggman, could abuse the location. Well, it looks like Amy's not needed for temple hunting anymore, but I'm glad her Mystic Melody skill won't be wasted. And we get a hint at what Knuckles and Amy will be up to after the crossover. Once again, Rotor's the big picture guy. You know, dude, that might earn you some negative points if you don't care about the smaller aspects of the world. For those wondering where the remaining Freedom Fighter team members are, see Sonic Universe's Spark of Life arc. 3 more things before I get to the art. First, I like how Chip and Sonic are starting to bond. It puts their relationship more in line with their game counterparts. Second, more Unleashed humans are showing up. But I must complain about something. The Ice Cream Man vendor's apron is the wrong color. It's supposed to be pink striped as shown right here. Finally, Eggman's in the process of taking over the Lost Hex. That would explain his presence there at the end of Sonic Universe 75. I actually sent a tweet to Ian Flynn whether or not this moment will tie into the Free Halloween 2013 issue. His response, and I quote, "Loosely, that was pure Sega Sonic. The comic always tweaked things a bit." I'm going to let you speculate on what that means, folks. We have 2 artists in this story, and I'm not talking in terms of beginners and finishers. I mean, we have 2 different art styles present. James Fry handled the first 10 pages while Evan Stanley took care of the second 10 pages. And their art style is as different as night and day. Which I guess is the point. James's style is smooth, rounded, and for lack of a better term, orderly. Perfect for daytime. Evan's style is sketchy, rough, and chaotic, just like nighttime. The robot attacks at the beginning and the monster attacks at the end further contrast the 2 different time periods. I'm giving this story an 8. It ends certain plot points while setting up others, plus there are small character moments that I did enjoy. When we return to this series, it'll be part 3 of the Worlds Unite crossover. Otherwise, the main Fixing the World plot will probably continue around issue 276. So until next time, have a good day, and be safe.